Going live. Yeah. Hi, and welcome to Gasparilla Festival of the Arts. I'm Amy Jenkins, Vice President of the Board of Gasparilla Fest, and I have with me David Russell, glass artist. Hi, David. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name's David Russell. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. I happen to be at the Soda City Market selling my wares today. But I'm really proud to have been a part of the Gasparilla Festival of the Arts for about the past 10 years. It is an incredible show. I wish I could be there this year, but I am very happy to be part of it virtually. I made a demo of making one of my solid sculptures I call a mindscape, which I've had versions of that at the festival in years past. I think the video came out pretty good. I'm hoping you guys will enjoy seeing it. And the piece that you're gonna see me make is one of those right there. So again, I really appreciate you guys checking this out, and I look forward to answering any of y'all's questions after the video. Thank you. We're going to play the piece a little bit, and then we're going to add some sticks. Changes in your mode. The next thing is add a layer of pattern stick. I can barely, I can't, like me watching it is just like not snapshots and shit. So I don't even know if they're getting it the right way.
They're getting better feed. You're just getting really shitty because I'm.
I was just talking all over you. just everything on the page where I'm like, I see some more things I'm not gonna do. So you make it smooth and shake it up nice and even. Which takes a little bit of time, because it does a lot to the mass class. But as soon as I have it, smooth it all out, and then dip it in the furnace and we fix it in a layer of molten clear glass. I call these pieces my mistakes because ever since I've been my shop going before, and the year before that, as the game heats up, the sugar into a really lucky glove. Easy to get caught looking inside the piece before I mess up. This is a special packet. Graphite fiber, it's been waterlogged, water soaked for days, and it will have to get a few moments of graphite glass back in. This is a large piece of cork, and it does a really good job of not leaving any burn marks on the glass, like normal wood does. You do have to stay moving around a little bit. Whenever you see a lot of long glass cork and the pieces seem to be found or wider than they are deep, it's usually the artist is using some form of cork tool to achieve that. Because you can see it makes the glass nice and clear while still doing a lot to the material. Since this is solid glass, the core is quite warm, and it takes quite a while to cool down before you can knock it off the rod that you're working on. Molds heat quite differently than a vessel that has polished wall. So these metal tools just keep reinforcing the strength in that area. Use other tools that hold that kind of do that stuff too. Keep a secretary around this hole. Now we're going to the you see something about starting out and shutting out the cool off? Sure, can stand up.
That was amazing. David, you're on mute still. So David, tell me, what inspired you to become an artist and working with glass?
My freshman year of college just was not fulfilling like I hoped it would be. And my second attempt at my freshman year in college was about the same. And I lived near the Penland School of Crafts in North Carolina. And I thought putting myself in there for a year would be a good thing. And I took a semester of glass blowing and was fortunate enough to have some local artists from Asheville come up there to find an employee on the last day of class. I worked for them. I got hired off of them, someone else. A few years later, somebody else. I was able to live in the area and take intermittent classes throughout my working time. And it just was such a captivating material, had such a history I could be a part of, something I'd never been before. And I mean, it was seductive for all the other reasons too, why everyone likes to look at it. The glowing, the dripping, the shaping, and then just something that I could get into where practice and dedication would pay off down the road.
Where did you pick those up?
Studying with different artists. I would always study with any Venetian that would come. Quite often they do in their retirement. And I've studied with several, but I had a friendship with one of them and I kept studying with him year after year. His name is Elio Corisa. And I studied with him for about 4 years at the Corning Museum of Glass until he passed away. And it had a rather profound effect on my glass work. And I also worked for a fellow in North Carolina who's an incredibly skilled artist, being his assistant for a couple of years, helping him build his shop, all his equipment, and helping him develop his line of work was also an incredible education that I would not have been able to get many other places.
It sounds like you've had a lot of really good mentors in your education and your career. Is that something that is important to you?
Well, obviously it has been very important to me, and I would love for it to be important for me to give back. Unfortunately, where I live is very rural, and I don't have as much access to people or people seeking to extrapolate knowledge from me. The older I get, the more I would love for that to happen. And I hope I hope that one day my business provides the comfort where I can bring in a young person or two. My son is now 10, and I have him in the shop working, and that is incredibly fulfilling for me. I passing it on to him is you know, he's 10. He has a lot of other interests still too, but he does enjoy the glass, and I have him making paperweights and other little solid items, and he sometimes is at this market here selling a few items. So I'm working first at home, and if I can change other children's minds out there, I'll be happy to do that too.
How do you teach your son to be okay with something breaking? I'm sure that takes a lot of years to get used to the idea of your glasses might break when you take it off the rod.
I don't know if I heard that exactly. You're asking technically about when the glass comes off the rod?
Well, so you're teaching your son, and being 10, it's probably hard to work hard on something and then it might break. How do you teach that level of comfort to be okay with something breaking?
Well, he's seen me in the studio since he was a baby in the play crib in the back. So I'd like to say that I don't break things, but he has seen a few things break, and he seems to know what can happen in the glass shop, both good and bad.
Do you have any wisdom you would like to share with aspiring artists?
It's not going to be anything, any big secret. It's just going to be practice. And with glass, it can be very hard to get the practice. I would say you just have to seek it out, and you may have to do things you didn't want to do to get that practice.
Oh, he's on mute. You're muted, David. David, you're muted. David, you're mute. There you
All right,
go.
sorry about that.
You got muted in there somehow. I'm sorry.
No problem. Glass is a long road, and you have some fun right off the bat, but it does take many years, and I really am not sure how I found the patience to do that. Before glass, it was not in my personality type to do something so long term that required such hard work. And I'm glad I found something in my life like that, to be honest.
I'm glad you found it too. I love your work. Do you have any favorite pieces you've created over the years?
Well, the mindscapes that I made in the demo are definitely a personal favorite. Certainly, I've got a lot of favorites. Usually my favorite is something I've made in the last month, something that's fired me up. And quite often that is a reinterpretation of something I did maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago, when I'm trying it now with a different set of eyes and a different set of hands. You know, if I'm in a setting where I see a piece in a collection, it turns out that's usually my favorite. When I pull off a really good one at the bench, that becomes my favorite right then.
I'd love to pull up your Ventini shop and show our listeners some of your pieces. Do you want to talk about any of the pieces in particular?
Sure, that'd be great. I got some great pieces on there that I'm very proud of.
So we're showing your site right now. It's live on Ventini, and you have some pieces for sale. Let's see. So one of the ones that you were talking about in your demo was a Mindscape piece. And that's
yes, those are the solid pieces, and I believe there's one there that is titled GFA Demo.
Oh, the one that you created in the video is on the site.
Yes, I believe if you can find one that is labeled GFA Demo, that would be the exact one I made in the video.
Great. So you talked a little bit about this last year and that you've taken some work that you've done in your past and you've made a new twist on it. What else has this last year done for you? I know it's probably been a little bit of a different year, not going to different festivals. How has that influenced your work?
It has greatly influenced my work. While in the beginning, I was continuing making the same type of work and the same scale and trying to get the customers that I had and keep making the work I had been making. And then it became apparent to me that I needed to represent other price points. And it gave me the opportunity to go back and make other things I hadn't made in many, many years. Little bud vases, goblets, cups, miniature versions of some of these bigger things. And it wasn't long before the venue where I was selling my work where I'm at now is a Saturday market, and it is, the past couple of years become a destination for arts and things in this town. But I've had to scale back what I make and change what I make and make it smaller, make it more functional, make it something that can catch these customers' eye when they're not expecting to buy something. And yes, that's been different than the past, but it's also been a great challenge too. I'm able to make things that don't always hurt my wrists and back and shoulders. And that's always pleasant at the end of a week to have enough strength to enjoy the weekend.
Especially with the 10-year-old. So do you, so tell me a little bit about how virtual festivals are changing how you interact with your collectors and those who want to buy your work.
Well, I will say it's my third or fourth virtual event, and the negative aspect I find about it is that I don't have a connection to the customer. I get an email, I get a note, I send a note. They convey that they like the piece. I convey that I'm glad they like the piece, but it's not like being there in person and having them tell you how great they love it and how much that piece last year they got looks on that table. And you don't think that's important fuel for being an artist all the time, but it really is. And it's an awesome thing. And I look forward to getting back to it, but virtual is way more, it's better than nothing. And it's beyond better than nothing. There is appreciation for the arts. I have old collectors that reach out. I have found new people. I just hope I get to see these new people somewhere down the road at a show in their town.
So you're planning to go back to live festivals when they do resume?
Absolutely. I have my first 2 live festivals in May, the first 2 weekends of May, and I'm eager as could be. And they're just like Gasparilla, they're shows I've been doing for quite a few years. And one of them's in my home state, and it'll be the kickoff public event for that town, Artisphere in Greenville, South Carolina. And so the whole town's kind of pumped up that they get to go out and do something finally. So, and now having said that, I am a little cautious about scheduling the rest of the year as I have in the past. You just don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I am eager to get back on the road.
We're eager to have you come back here.
I gotta say,
what has been your biggest takeaway?
The last show that I did before the pandemic was Gasparilla in the new park. And it was fantastic. I loved it. I loved my space. I just had the quintessential art experience. And I can remember getting home on that Monday and reading in the newspaper that Tampa had 6 cases of Corona. And we all wondered, what might this turn out to be?
We were very thankful we got to do a live event last year before everything was shut down.
I agree. And the fact that we all got to experience that new place and how great that was, and the weather, it was a wonderful one to end on if you had to.
Thank you. We were glad to have you. It was a wonderful event. Hope
Well,
to see you
sure do
next year.
I sure do appreciate y'all having me here and taking the time to look at this demonstration. All this stuff will be up until later in March. And if I can be of any assistance to anybody, feel free to reach out through my website, phone number, any method of contact. I'm easily reachable and I'm always available to answer questions. And I just can't say enough about all the good things going on at the Gasparilla Festival of Arts, whether it's virtual or in person.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful having you, David.
Thank you. Again, I really appreciate it. And I hope you and everybody else has a great day. Thank you all for putting up with my handheld phone and my awkward face positions. Y'all take care and have a great day. Thank y'all so much.
Enjoy your festival.
Have a good one. Thank you again.
All right. All right.